McCree to the Lisa Talk Show. Pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you. On set with me today is our lovely, her worship, Saleema McCree. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Thomas. So at the age of 35, is the first woman to be appointed as the mayor of the borough of Point Fortin.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Well, Lisa, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to the viewers of Trinidad and Tobago.
Afternoon.
It's indeed a pleasure to be here on Lisa's talk show.
Thank you.
Well, what can I say? I am humbled. Humbled by the opportunity because it was an unexpected one.
Okay.
Because I would have been appointed as deputy mayor in 2019 after the local elections. So our now member of parliament, Kennedy Richards, was our former mayor.
Yes.
And when he was successful at the general elections, by law, I succeeded to the position of mayor. So indeed,
Wonderful.
I am humbled to be serving and to be the first female mayor to represent women in our community.
Are you a mom?
Yes, I am. Mom of two.
Two?
Yes.
So how does that work for you? I mean, being a mom and being a mayor, wow, that is huge.
Yeah.
How do you cope? How do you, times, meeting, hours, how do you make it? As a woman and as a mom and a wife and a mayor, most of all, foremost.
You know, it sounds a lot, you know. I will not say it's easy and I will not say it's hard because of the support system. I have my husband, I have my mom, she's a retiree. So I'm fortunate to have that strong support system behind me. My son is 9, my daughter is 6. So they understand. So that having a structure as well kind of helped to balance things. It would not have been easy at the beginning, but over time, you know, rolling out the structure and again the support system, it just became a little easier.
So, I want to say though, I now heard the news with, what's going on. So we are back into this business shut down, bars closed down. I really, I have no words because I see it coming. But you being the mayor of a whole borough, what is your take on it? Because I mean, with entrepreneurs, people home, they're not working. I mean, since it's COVID, people is still home. Some coming out 2 days at a time, 3 days, who have rent to pay. So how do you cope? How do we cope? What encouragement will you give us?
Well, in Point Fortin, per se, we are a population of just over 25,000. So basically, we're small. And yes, the pandemic would have affected us just as, we are no different from any other community. And with the COVID-19, over that period, the council, we would have, being human beings, we understand what our budgets would have been going through. Because we too would have had to make some changes as well in our personal lives and as on the council. So what we would have done as part of the council's vision and having to make some changes, we are looking, our focus now is more onto the entrepreneurs, onto the small, micro, medium and large businesses in Point Fortin, where we also want to encourage persons. So we are now putting things in place through our local economic development committee that is chaired by Councillor Brianna Fortune John, to put things in place to train and develop our young people to become their own businessmen and women. And we are seeing where we have online shopping, we have home deliveries, and so that it's not easy, but we are trying to put mechanisms in place to help build that actual avenue to help encourage our small businesses in Point Fortin through agriculture and other additional.
Because I know as with even kids with the homeschool, I know that is affecting a lot of parents, I think some of them is really, really getting frustrated where that homeschool is, I mean, on the rise. You cannot go to work, and then you can't leave the kids unattended to, because children, they're doing no homework, them dismissing themselves from the
Yes,
classes.
yes, it's true.
So I mean, I try not to go into the political arena, but some of the questions are coming up in that way now, especially from the news we hear this morning. So is it that it have things in place for that? Because we know that we here in the country have no money. I mean, these are not some of the questions that I actually had for you,
Right.
but it just coming on because of the situation that we are in right now with this news a while back. So how do we get through this?
Well, Lisa, again, it's very difficult, and I understand as a mother, I have to attend meetings. I have two children that are doing virtual school. They attend primary school, and it is difficult and challenging at time because they cannot come to work with me, or go to, or attend office days and meeting days with me. So I understand the challenges that parents are having, and not everyone can afford to pay a private tutor to oversee your children while they attend their virtual schooling. So in point 14, at the council level, we will not have really put anything in place specifically, but I know over the few months in having conversations with parents, for my son's class, my daughter's class, may it be neighbors, just persons within the community who are experiencing it as well. They had to be forced to implement certain measures so that, these children could now be able to attend their classes. And it's still difficult because even implementing whatever measures, you're still not sure if they're paying attention, So overall, it's something that hard to adopt. And what I can say with time, can I say it will get easier? I can't say so, because I too myself don't know. But with the support of a community, and I'm hoping that I can get our Burgesses to understand, we have to support each other.
Yes,
we have to go back to that time where let us be our neighbor's keeper. Let us be able to look out for each other, so that if you know that I am a home mom, I am a stay-at-home mom, my neighbor next door, she has to go to work, and I understand the COVID in terms of you have to protect and ensure that the safety protocols are in place, but we now have to look out for each other. So we are at a stage where we have to go back in time, where we have to now become our brother's keeper and support each other.
Okay. So, Your Worship, as you know, Women International Day was recently celebrated. What are your thoughts on women in today's society, especially with the rise of domestic violence and again everything that is going on in the world, not only in Trinidad but in the world today? What are your thoughts?
Well, to say first, women, we are the backbone. We are the backbone of our community, of our country, of our homes. When you look at what women have accomplished over the years, when you look at the positions that women hold today, we have come from far. And to me, this is an encouragement for the younger women, younger girls coming up, that they can look on and see that I can do it in spite of some of us that reach where we are. It may not have been that easy, and you had to be determined. You might have had you might have a mentor, you might have somebody you look up to, and I want to encourage that. And I want to encourage women out there who are actually holding positions, that you actually look out for a younger one. Adopt that child, adopt a young female person who you can mentor and advise. Going down the path of domestic violence is a very touchy, sensitive, topic for me, and it's one that when it's so sad that even now we have women that you can't speak out. You're afraid. You don't know who to talk to. You don't know what
Who
to
to
say,
trust,
who to
what to say,
trust.
yeah.
You know, and I still want to encourage those women that there are people out there, in spite of your situation, there's somebody willing to listen, and just that one person listening can make a difference.
Yeah.
You know, could make a difference. Let us not stop holding secrets or minding a business, as we just say. And I'm going back to that being your brother's keeper. Let I'm minding my business, I ain't studying what's happening down the road. But something is happening, something threatening to one's life. We have to pay attention. We have to look out for each other.
I sometimes I wonder if we create monsters as women. You know, if things happen because of us, because again, we're going back to say a village raised a child. But you remember a long time ago, your parents or grandparents stay in marriages and relationships because not that they didn't have the support, but it's my husband, it's my children, that came first. And I think sometimes we need to actually just get up. And because for me it was hard, not that I did not have the support of family, but just that, that shame, I will say, of, your family know what's going on. Because I mean, sometimes you really sit down inside and you're biting. But your pride.
Yes.
And I think with most women, that is a big, big issue for some of us, because you have that pride. I'm not going home because I don't want to let nobody feed me or ask anybody for anything. But then deep inside now, we are just looking at, we're creating our own monsters, because we sit down there and just going through this and taking this and taking this and taking that. So I think really, you being set this morning, again, thank you. I know that your schedule are busy, and you do look fabulous.
Never too busy to speak.
So, really and truly, the power of women standing up for women and really not pulling down, it's a plus. It's a plus. And I know we need to get women together, that backbone.
That support system.
For each other, because even with look what's going on now. And then we started again. So now you're going on to this rampage where you have to look for this, you have to look for that, you have to look. And then when you're home and nothing is coming out, you're frustrated.
Yes.
So then your frustration is where on the kids, the husband, probably, the family. So I think we really need to be our brother's keeper. And go back to that old time. And again, we say nothing is not too old, and we never too old to learn, because what's going on now, we have to actually be going back into this thing. And I just want to say, I think we create this on ourselves.
Well, it's okay. You're right. At some
We
point,
really create this on ourselves, because I am looking at social media, and when you look at these things and they're saying, listen, no gathering, no this, no that, and we are just really lackadaisical in this place.
Irresponsible. Irresponsible. Adults,
because you go in, honestly, being a was a housewife, and somebody out there, you're working, you're tired. You see me, I want to drink a little beer, yes? But oh gosh, drink the beer and go, buy the beer, hi, buy, and you're going about it. But then it's hours, and then you don't know who have this thing. So you bringing this home to your family.
Exactly.
How are you sure that you don't have this when you leave from wherever you're going?
Exactly.
And then too, you could be safe, and because I even
Yeah.
want to go that way.
Yeah, because you know, look at it. After the press conference today, we have now reduced from gatherings from 10 to 5. And you know that was coming because just over the Easter, if you
This
look
is
at the
it.
crowds on the beaches, and I say to myself, I say for adults, why are we behaving so irresponsible? We're supposed to know better. We want to get out of this thing. We want to get back to some form of normalcy.
Yeah,
And in order to
yeah,
do so, we have to follow the protocols. And it may just take some time. And I understand with change, we all do sometimes when we something change, if a route on a road change,
yeah,
you know, you find that kind of difficult to adapt to. But over time, you would eventually adapt and conform to it. And I say this pandemic has been with us our the
a
1 year
year, a
anniversary a
year,
year.
and some months.
Yes, so we
Yeah,
made our 1 year anniversary with this pandemic. And, you know, persons are still out there doing what they are not supposed to do.
yeah,
So we are
yeah.
back on some restrictions
Mm-hmm.
where we didn't want to go back,
And we
you
right
know,
back
and we
on.
are back at a place, we are going back to that place, you know. So I want to encourage the Buddhists of Point Fortin and by extension Trinidad and Tobago, take heed of the protocols. Wear your mask, social distance, you know, sanitize. And as the mayor of Point Fortin, one of the restrictions, in addition to what the government implemented, I am planning to ensure that there is patrols
Yeah,
to the
beaches.
beaches, even the hairdressing salons, the barber shops, and all these different businesses, groceries, to ensure that they have all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
things, everything that's supposed to be in place to ensure that your shoppers and your customers are protected.
Affected. Yes, yes.
And you know, so we have to go back. So now we have to treat it one step at a
At a
time
time.
to ensure that everything is in place. So you know, I really hear what you're saying, and as adults, we have to take the responsibility because the children they look on
Yes,
and they
they
practice
follow
what they
really,
follow what
really.
we do. Yeah,
So we have to go on a commercial break. We
right.
will be right back because I
Sure,
have some other questions for you.
sure. No problem.
Welcome back to the Lisa Talk Show. And again, I want to welcome again Her Worship. So I want to touch on Point Fortin celebrating 41 years this
Yes,
year. Is it 41?
yes, yeah.
Um, how do you feel? 41 years.
41 years.
Borough.
The
Point
borough has
Fortin.
grown exponentially over the years.
Mm.
From having a weekend celebration, celebrating for a weekend, into a 3 week
Whew.
celebration. You know, unfortunately, last year, due to the pandemic, we had to
No borough.
cancel No
Yes.
Borough.
No borough.
And this year, it seems to be heading down that road entirely. The council would have had a few virtual programs planned, and we are still having conversations as to, you know, if we should
Or should
or should
not.
not go through, even though it's virtual. And we
Okay.
will be practicing all the health protocols in terms of
All
the
right.
numbers, but we are looking at what is happening now with the
Now.
spike in COVID, and things may have to definitely change.
Change.
Yes.
But can I ask though, what are some of the plans? Because you know, my plan was to put on my little t-shirt and jump up in the office and all kind of thing. So could we
Yes.
still do that or not? Or we do
Well,
it on our own accord?
Well, the plan originally was to really, have something,
Right,
do
right.
something on a very, very, small scale. But again, with funding
Hmm.
and with the spike in COVID, we're really unsure as to how
How
things
you
is going to
proceed.
proceed. By the end of this week, we should have some confirmation as to how we're going to proceed. But what I can say on the 18th, which is Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
we will be having our Thanksgiving Mass service
Okay.
at the Point Fortin Catholic Church to, give thanks for the 41 years as a borough and for
Okay.
what we would have achieved over the years.
All right. So how has been your tender so far as as the woman
As
mayor
a,
of Point Fortin?
well,
A lot of challenges,
it
a little, or some.
what can I say? Yes, it has its challenges,
Mhm.
and nothing is perfect, and
Mm-mm.
being new to this thing entirely, it would have taken some time to adapt and
Yeah.
conform. So again, what I did, I had the former mayor who would have been able to, that transitioning period to help me, walk me through.
Okay.
And I had the support of some experienced council members who gave me they're very, very supportive. I
Hmm.
have that support of the council. So, and they are reliable.
Okay.
So, everybody pull their weight
And do what they have
and do
to
what they
do.
have to do.
Hmm.
So it makes it not so easy, but a little easier in that sense that I can depend on my
Okay.
council and working together as a team. We would have been achieving a lot and we will continue to achieve.
Okay. So now we're not sure of what it is going on now, but I think that will have everybody on edge
Hmm.
because we had no borough last year
Yes.
and but no borough again this year.
Hmm.
So now I'm wondering what's going on with the entrepreneurs and
Right.
these people with the bands
Hmm.
and all these stuff on the borough of Point Fortin.
Important. Hmm.
So again, the
Well,
businessman, huh?
yeah, it's really tough. And as I said, earlier on, it's so last year the adjustment was hard. Yeah, it was hard because borrow time was a time where a lot of the small businesses they
Mm-hmm.
would have earned
Mm-hmm.
most of their revenue,
Yeah.
and we had to look at creative ways, alternative ways, open up for spaces to allow them to do their vending if it's throughout the year.
Yeah.
And again, you will have shoppers as before because
Hmm.
persons are not working. So, that's that ability to spend and have persons
Yeah.
spending,
Yeah.
it was really tough. It still is,
Hmm.
but most of them, I have to say, over time and having conversations with them because I would have had a business forum very
Okay.
late last year and we were looking at and we are looking at ways and means through the council to create and try to boost that
Okay.
entrepreneurship in Point Fortin to encourage persons to support local. So we
Okay.
have a support local base where same councillor Brianna Fortin started it on Facebook social
Mm-hmm.
media, and it's I think she told me more than 1,000 businesses
Okay.
not only in Point
Okay.
Fortin, but from San Fernando come down, would have joined this social media group, this Facebook group,
Group.
and we are now persons are supporting each other. So you're getting that where we're encouraging. The slogan is support
Mm-hmm.
local,
Okay.
and we are pushing that so that we support one another in the community. We keeping the money within
On the
the borough of
community.
Point Fortin.
So let me ask this now. What about the construction sector of
Mm-hmm.
the
And
borough?
oh,
Because it have a lot of works going on. This
yeah,
thing study falling down on my face.
yeah, same for me. Mm-hmm.
I'm uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but we have to use the
Mm-hmm.
protocol.
Yes.
So is it that a lot of the communities are involved in the construction sector? Because that is a part of opening up
Opening. Yes.
and because the way things are now, that it's a forum of financially securing some homes or
Yes.
at least some stability financially. So how is that working at all or not?
Well, the major projects that
Mm-hmm.
one stream, they are not like the Fanny Village Government Primary School. Their
Okay.
works are going on there, but at a very slow pace.
Oh,
Very slow
okay.
pace. The same will go for our Mahika Oval, that too, together with our new fire station. So
Okay.
those were some of the major, development projects that would have started before the COVID.
But
And
slow
yes,
down.
it would have slowed down tremendously due to the pandemic and again funding. We
Funding. Okay.
know what the economy is like in Trinidad presently, so everything, it's being kind of held back due to the funding and the pandemic at this moment. Yeah.
I think for me per se, um, I think that I'm stifling.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that because I think with even though the way things are now per
Mm-hmm.
se, I have been telling, my staff that I think it's harder to do any kind of business
Mm-hmm.
right now in this time where it's supposed to be easier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know for some people, but for me, it's supposed to be easier,
Mm-hmm.
especially within the government, the industry of the ministries.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with that, you're having more problem than anything else. And I am saying that to say you're not getting through with anything. You
Mm-hmm.
have been trying to call for me per se.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting through. You're on calls. Is it that it's supposed to be easier? Because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going out there and seeing anybody. You're at a
Mm-hmm.
phone where you're supposed to say, hi, this is so, 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 so,
Mm-hmm.
so. Let me transfer you to this
Mm-hmm.
extension, or let me transfer you to that. Or Miss Gracia, you could do this or you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not even picking it up to say, well, okay, you could do this or you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And which to me, I find it's supposed to be easier. It is harder because
Mm-hmm.
on a norm, to do business, I mean legal affairs and all these things, if you're doing a business registration, it takes like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is taking months.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what if anybody have been complaining to you where that is concerned, being the mayor,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's ridiculous. I will really like to get your input on it.
Right. So, in my capacity as mayor, what I plan to do, and actually during our 41st, I would have spoken to one or two ministers, minister within the Ministry of Housing, and we spoke about, she wanted to bring to Point Fortin a caravan
Mm-hmm.
of the different services that they provide at the ministry. And in having that discussion with her, I said to myself, why reached out to the other ministers, this minister in social
Yeah.
services. So she would have visited Point Fortin just recently, and they did something similar, where they would have brought these services to the people. And through the different councillors, they were able to advertise and encourage your businesses to come to the town hall, so that
Okay.
instead of you going to those
Mm-hmm.
ministries, the service is now home for you. It's easy
Yeah.
access, right? And that is something that I'm planning and working on, so that getting those different ministries to come to point with the different services that they provide, and
Mm-hmm.
to be able to facilitate so that you won't have, because persons are complaining
Yeah.
that they are
Yeah.
having that problem of accessibility, you know, and I do understand, and I empathize with the ministries, because the workload now is more, and then you may not have had the resources before. So now where
Mm-hmm.
you have to now accommodate thousands of persons over a phone, and through technology, we now have to put those things in place. You may have to improve such facilities, to
Okay.
encourage that load that is now coming, in that direction. So I understand. So at my level, I want to bring it to point, and
Okay.
bring it in a way that it'll be easier for the people of Point Fortin, and they won't have that problem of having to,
Well,
yeah,
I think for me per se, um, well, I guess I have it wrong because I think it would have been
easier.
so much easier because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you're at a phone where you could, but sometimes they're calling and they're not even answering the phone.
Right.
They're not picking up the phone. At
Then-
least pick up I think everything is crazy. Even with the banks. Oh my God, well, don't talk about the banks. You don't even want, I don't even think I have enough time to talk about the bank because I am so upset with the banks right now. But I think things should be a little more easier to me. It's just my opinion. It is not cast in stone. But I believe where you don't have that doors constantly opening, things supposed to be flowing, it shouldn't be so hard for me per se. And as I say, it is not cast in stone, it's just my opinion on how things supposed to go. So now I'm going back to say, well, I know that we're not sure with the events. I just want to touch on that because I know I supposed to call a few international people to find out what it is going on around. So again, I want to say, are we just waiting until Friday to hear what's going on, or if we're moving forward virtual and all these things before we close? You know?
Okay, let me touch back on the virtual programs, the tentative virtual programs.
Okay.
Now it was taking a different slant in the sense that it would have been more educational and out of a historical background, so that may not be of the party type, events. And my main reason for it, and I took a stance, that I do not want to jeopardize persons' health. So that those virtual events were more on that side, would have been taken that direction. With respect to the Pan on the Move, our intentions were to actually do some pre-recording, of a few bands. And
the
then
John
stream
Public,
it.
I know that we have to close off. Our time has run out completely. But I know to the viewing public, if they need to get more information, can they go on to the...
Yes. So for this year's 41st anniversary, Point Fortin may not be having a birthday celebration per se, but we would want to highlight, some of our historical events from the past, and also promote some educational programs as well, and that will be virtual. Now, this is all tentative, and this is based on, we're looking at the situation right now due to the pandemic, and also, funding. So this is something that will still yet to be announced if it is we're having anything virtually, and you would be able to access that information on our Point Fortin Borough Corporation Facebook page, the Point Fortin Borough Council's Facebook page, and our website, the corporation's website.
So, Your Worship, I want to thank you for being a part of the Lisa Talk Show.
Close, must be close. That is brilliant. You carry, it does carry. God, ran out of patience. Putting his team in full control, you can see he's passionate. Carlos Brathwaite! Remember the name!
Welcome back, TNT, to the Lisa Talk Show. And set with me now is Miss
Nazma.
Muller. M-U. Muller.
L-L-E-R. Yeah.
Okay. So Nazma is a activist.
Yes.
So we need to legalize it.
Absolutely, immediately, urgently.
Why?
Well, for one reason, it's being used to treat COVID in Israel and Canada.
Is that a fact?
It is a fact.
Okay.
If you Google COVID and cannabis, it's being used in Israel and Canada. There are terpenes in the flowers of cannabis that helps to suppress the inflammation in the lungs, which is the
Okay.
most dangerous part of COVID, the respiratory arrest, the inflammation in the
Oh.
lungs. That is what makes COVID so dangerous. And the fact that cannabis is being used to treat COVID, which is causing global chaos, is reason for us to just immediately legalize.
Cannabis is what?
Cannabis is ganja,
Is weed.
marijuana, weed. I'm just using the
Marijuana,
scientific name now so that we
Okay, okay.
understand that this
Right.
is a scientific realm that we are entering now.
So, are you an activist of the herbs?
All herbs, all
All
natural herbs, and
Okay.
cannabis is one of the most useful and beneficial because we actually have receptors in our bodies, all through our nervous system and in our brain. We have receptors for cannabis.
But okay, so yeah, but now people could actually smoke freely in TNT, is it?
Yes, you
Is
can.
that not legalized?
Well, not you can smoke in your home. You can
Okay.
grow 4 plants, and you're allowed possession of 30 grams.
But I plenty weed. Why people want more than that?
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you're ill, you need more than 30 grams to prepare the oil.
So you need more than 40? Like a palm
No.
plant?
This is you can get a lot from just one tree, way more than 30 grams. So this is where the law is a bit
So
tricky.
then you need to have half a tree.
Well, you have to make sure when you cut the half a tree, only 30 grams you cut.
Only 30 grams.
Yes, which is
Okay.
where it becomes a little difficult.
So now we are getting serious here. Tell me why marijuana or ganja, and you said legalize, but now you can plant and have it in your home. Why fight for something that actually everybody is using and they are free to use it in the facility of their homes? What's going on?
Okay, well, so now we have people able to grow at home, but we have people who are very ill, who can't grow at home, who don't know how to grow at home. They really just, you have a lot of people with cancer. Instead of us giving them radiation and chemotherapy, we can give them the ganja oil. We can give them the Rick Simpson oil.
So, okay, so what is tell me about the oils.
Okay, so the problem right now legally is that it's a charge to produce the oil. And it's even a charge, a crime, to treat yourself with the oil. Yes. This is how many laws have been written about ganja to suppress it. Okay? And the fact is, a lot of people who reach stage 3, stage 4 cancer come to me desperate to save their lives. And I cannot, because I face imprisonment if I give them life-saving ganja oil. And there are enough doctors in this country who ask me every day to supply them with the oil because they have patients who have responded to CBD, to THC. The THC is what gets you high. So
let me okay, so let me reverse, because some of them are feeling like a high right now.
Only stop.
So let me reverse. So the oil.
Yes, it's very concentrated.
So it's made from the seed?
No, it's made from the buds. The dried, cured buds of the plant. So you have your seed, you grow your plant, and after 3-4 months, it starts to produce buds. Within these buds are hundreds of compounds.
So let me try to understand it, because I'm not a smoker and I don't know what weed is. I can't even remember looking at weed.
Okay.
So let me use, for instance, you plant some okra tree and you're picking the okra. But I remember a long time, I remember my great aunt and my mom, them, if the okra is finished, they use I wonder if it's the bud for a better word, and that will supplement the okra, get it as slimy as the okra. Are we talking about something like that, or I'm just asking
It's the
because
flower. It's the actual flower of the plant, right? And the flowers, sometimes if the flowers are pollinated, you will get seeds.
Okay, so
right?
we're talking about the seeds with the ganja plant.
No, but you're using the buds. You're using the seeds simply to reproduce,
Okay.
right? But the buds you actually see. I wish I had brought some buds to show you.
No, we don't want police in
30 grams is allowed. And with all of us in here, 150
Oh
grams.
Lord, no, this is just a show. We just want to know what.
Okay, so the THC is what's in the buds, and that is the THC and CBD. Those are the two main compounds that are offering medical benefits.
Right. So a human body, somebody with dreaded disease, that could help diabetes, could it help hypertension?
We know for sure hypertension because what the endocannabinoid system does, it interacts with the other 11 systems in the body, the nervous system, the respiratory system, the neurological, the orthopedic, right? So it interacts with all of them to create homeostasis. Homeostasis is balance.
Okay.
Anything that's out of balance, the cannabinoids are going to try to create balance, to put things back how they're supposed to be.
Okay.
So that's why it's effective for cancer, arthritis, chronic pain, insomnia. It will help you relax and go to sleep. Trauma. A lot of people use it for post-traumatic stress disorder because what it does is it doesn't erase the memories, but it dulls them somewhat. So you get time to recover, to heal emotionally, psychologically, because it's also dealing with the brain and the neurological function. And it really just wants you to be at a place of balance where you can perform optimally. That's the role of cannabis, the role of the endocannabinoid system.
Okay, so what other benefits I may say smoking ganja have for people like chronic disease, or probably anything normal, the norm of the ganja smoking?
Well, not the smoking so much, because now what I want to say is that smoking is not the best way. You don't get all the benefits. You can use steam, you can use the oil in that way, you get everything in it without any of the side effects of, smoking. Putting your lungs through that. I would recommend vaping, but
vaping.
Yeah, you have vape pens now, or you have the steam chalice where the water.
But that gives you cancer.
Well, they're saying that the vape pens, of course, you run the risk if something is wrong with it, if it's faulty. So what I'm saying is we have a whole new industry that could open up in terms of the chalice, which can be made from coconut husk and natural materials.
So some are your concerns per se for the viewers, or or the people looking on? Because I mean, I have a problem to sleep. If I get ganja and boil it, I go sleep good.
Right, so you can make tea. Yeah.
So you can make tea from it.
Yeah, you can use the leaves, the big leaves. Those are more CBD, less THC. So they're good for CBD. That's cannabinoid, cannabidiol.
Okay.
Right? So that is the actual, they have CB1 and CB2 receptors in our endocannabinoid system. So it will help you sleep. A lot of people get relief from just using the big leaves. If you use the buds, you will definitely sleep. For sure.
So you fighting for Mother Earth.
Yeah, because also too, we haven't even started the conversation about hemp, right? Hemp can replace plastic. All the plastic and styrofoam. We can produce material from hemp, from the hemp plant, which is I wouldn't say a species. Yes, it's a related species. It's cannabis as well, but the level of THC is very low, and it grows much taller, and the fiber is perfect for clothes. It will last forever. We haven't even talked about hemp, because hemp could deal with all our pollution issues, solid waste issues. It's biodegradable.
So is that a sister of the marijuana?
It's cannabis. It's marijuana, but it does not have the THC. It's like a sister. It's like a cousin. Same genetics, but one cousin has a big boobs, the next one has big butt. You know, the
And like me, I
phenotype.
don't have none. Kind of way.
You understand? It's the same genetics, but the expression, the phenotype is different. Has different characteristics. And the characteristics of hemp, if you see it, the t-shirts, the clothes, even the paper that we use to smoke weed is made from hemp.
So
but it doesn't
hemp
have
could give you all of that.
fuel as well. The hemp seeds,
Mhm.
you use it as a protein supplement. So,
So
this is why I'm fighting it.
Okay, so are you specialized in
Cannabis?
those? Yeah.
Well, I haven't taken any certificates or courses, but my research and
Mhm.
my degree is in sociology.
Okay.
So I have been doing my own anthropological research, ethnographic search in Jamaica for 20-something years among the Rastafari. I've worked at the UE in Mona with the Sir Arthur Lewis Institute of Social and Economic Studies, looking at
Okay.
the Ganja Studies unit. Because in Jamaica, of course, Ganja is part of a matrix of reggae, Rastafari, Pocomania, all the different cultural and musical influences in Jamaica. It's all sort of burnt in this crucible of ganja because there's so much interchange between the artists, the people, the ghetto. It's a whole dynamic that we are missing
It's
out
a different
here.
kind of hype.
Different vibe altogether. And that is why they have 5 million visitors every year.
Oh.
You
For
know?
ganja.
Not
So
just the
I have
ganja,
to-
but the atmosphere it creates a feeling of wellness. This is the thing that we need.
So that is what I want to touch on. Because I think all this ganja are getting high. So we need to go on a break. We'll be
A
right
tea
back.
break.
Welcome back, TNT. So, do you think that we should be teaching the goodness, as they say, or the benefit of our local herbs in
Absolutely.
school? Why?
Absolutely, because in California, Israel, Uruguay, Canada,
Mhm.
Mexico has just legalized recreational cannabis. New York has just legalized
Okay. Yeah.
recreational, not just medicinal. So this is the future of California. California has the 4th largest GDP in the world. California, the state of California. And a large part of that is, of course, ganja and wine. It's an agricultural state. And that is where we need to get to in Trinidad right now because we are going to be facing COVID restrictions. We have to become
Well,
self-reliant.
we are
We have to,
facing that
right.
right now.
We have to become self-sufficient in terms of our food and our herbal medicine and our herbal nutrients because we do not have the forex to import anything and there should be no need for us to import anything. We have everything we need here. The pharmaceutical industry drains the treasury every year. We can replace painkillers with ganja oil. The techniques, the equipment needed is all our chemists, our physics people can do this.
So why not have a discussion with the ministers? I mean, because you're fighting for this and I'm listening to you and it's a good cause. I mean, some people use it for probably the hype. What are the different needs of it? I think some probably just smoke it because...
Well, it's culturally entrenched in Trinidad. It's part of the music. It's part of how young men relax. It is therapeutic. You might say, oh, they're just smoking by the corner, but that in itself is very important to the society to have.
Smoking on the corner?
Yes, because that is where they bond. If you don't have men bonding on the corner, they're going to be bonding in the bar. And we just closed the bars.
So
So where do we...
So that more weed in the corner.
No, but the thing is, I mean, in Jamaica, which is very similar, that is what is keeping Jamaica less murderous than it is. The fact that people can smoke freely and interact.
Yeah, but I'm saying now, I mean, realistically, you're smoking in the corner, everybody hype, everybody hungry. I think it make you eat a lot. I don't know about smoking.
Well, I mean, yes, everybody talks about the munchies and so on, but that is also...
So we just say that now the bars close more in the corner.
So
is it
everybody
more
have to
gun
bubble...
and ganja?
Huh?
Is it gun and ganja?
No, but that's what we're saying. We need less guns, more ganja, right? Because the fact is we can produce everything we need here. Avocados, ground provisions, fruits, vegetables, herbs. What is keeping us back?
Okay, so we're talking about ganja. Let's talk about some other herbs.
No, before we leave, I just want to say one thing though. We have a lot of unemployment in the country right now. And one of the easiest things that can give us return on investment within 3 to 4 months is ganja. Okay.
Ganja.
Yes. And we can, in Thailand, every household is being asked to grow 6 plants to produce oil for the state. The country of Thailand, the government of Thailand is saying, we want to produce 1 million gallons of ganja oil. This is Thailand, which has no historical connection to ganja, but they see the economic benefits. They see the employment generation. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of people who could be put to work, who can earn an income within 3 months at home. They can grow their 4 plants, or they can be given licenses to grow 10 plants.
So let me ask you, so somebody's suffering with diabetes, and you tell them, here what, you could drink a little ganja tea, right?
Yes.
It's herb.
It's a herb, yes.
So I could boil a pot of ganja tea and drink whole day for somebody who like tea?
Yes.
And that go work?
Yes, of course. I mean, you will start, like, I mean, if somebody starts drinking for the first time, they're not going to drink a whole bottle of vodka. You're going to take a little glass, see how you feel.
People, girl. They're going to drink the whole bottle of vodka.
Well, I mean, then you go to the Mount Hope and you sober up or whatever, right? But I mean, the thing is, you will start with a little bit, you see how you feel, and then you progress from there, and your tolerance grows. So as you use more and more, you'll be able to ingest more, and your body will adapt. Your endocannabinoid system will adapt.
Somebody is looking on to this. They are 50 years, 60 years, and suffering with diabetes and hypertension, and we are saying, go drink some
ganja tea, grow your plants, try it.
You know, well, my plant go dead because I can't grow no kind of plant. So that's going to die. So, but they are looking on, and you are saying to them that it is going to help.
It is going to give you relief.
And you did your research. And you will put your head on a block. That is going to help.
It's going to help. Because this is something that is now part of the medical community globally. I don't understand why the Faculty of Medical Sciences in Trinidad and Tobago are not looking at making it part of the syllabus, because it's very important. It was discovered since in the early 90s, the endocannabinoid system, and it interacts and influences so many others. And the fact that we are not adopting this and we are still waiting, the second bill, the Cannabis Control Authority bill, has been before a joint select committee for 1.5 years now. And they were supposed to come back at the end of March, a few days ago, with their report, right? So I've been encouraging people, please let the joint select committee know that this is a much needed source of income. People are at home, they have children to take care of. I would like us to see a rollout of a legal supply of cannabis that includes as many of our traditional farmers and the people who are unemployed and poor people being part of the cannabis industry. They can be and they should be. What is happening in St. Vincent? With the Soufriere eruption, the St. Vincent production, their supply is jeopardized. So now there is a huge drought that St. Vincent is now out of the market for a little while. So that means a lot of tonnage that would have come out of St. Vincent is not going to be available in the next few months.
Okay.
So this is where we could have picked up the slack in Trinidad and Tobago and been on the market with our own ganja supply.
So let me.
I want to tell you, this is $1 billion industry. Billions of US dollars, 400 billion US dollars is what this global market is worth.
Ganja?
Yes, ganja.
Mm.
Because it is curing cancer in Israel. It is doing remarkable things because of what it can do for the endocannabinoid system, and we need to get on board, and we need as many of our people to be part of that venture. Not just, wealthy people who will generate more millions for themselves, but we want to see, the youths, young men who want to start families. They should be able to have some income from something that is legal now in so many countries.
Well, I think I am just giving my opinion and advice. And again, I always say to people, it's not cast in stone. But I think if you want to get things done and want to get done the legal way, meet the authorities. Work from it at that point where people could understand, okay, this is really going to help the people. Because I know from a little girl growing up, tablet is not recommended in our home. Everything is bush. And I hear you. And I understand what you are saying. And I am just saying to you, probably sit down with a group of people and really come together. Meet with the minister if you have to. Meet with the prime minister if you have to. But, I mean, you have a valid point and you understand where Mother Earth is important. And yes, this is our thing. It is planting, it is growing, it is using on all sort of level.
All sorts of levels.
All sort of level. So I really honestly believe if you take a different approach to it, maybe your voice will be heard. Because I mean, a lot of people use ganja, marijuana, whatever they call it, on the block. Well, now it's worse now because the bars closed. So it's more people on the block. But as I say, some use things for good, some use things for bad.
Well, not
but
only that,
if you are seeing it as a good, then go about it the right way. I really believe you have something there, and if you bring things differently to the government or the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, it will transform into different ways. So it's just my opinion. And on that, I just want to thank you for taking the time to come on the Lisa Talk Show. I really have a problem sleeping, but I think I'll talk to you about that off air. And I also want to thank the mayor of Point Fortin, her worship, for being a part of the Lisa Talk Show today. May I thank you very much for being on our set. You look lovely. You as well, ma'am.
Thank you.
So again, thank you. We are on lockdown. Please, people, take protocol. Be safe. Wash your hands. Wash your mouth. Cover. Stay home. Stay safe. Stay with your family. Stay indoors. Right? So God bless you guys, and we look forward to our next segment on the Lisa Talk Show. Stay tuned.